Hello, good morning. My name is Tosin Adeoti. I'll be reviewing this book for the Naija Book Club. Naija Book Club is a book club that seeks to imbibe in Nigerians' reading culture so that Nigerians can get reading again. Mainly, we have our activities on a Telegram group where once a month we decide the book that we'll read for the month, and then towards the end of that month, we share our thoughts on it. And then someone from the group, like myself, can come here and also review the book. In the month of June 2020, we read a book called The Attention Merchants, and by Tim Wu, scrambled to get inside our heads. Tim Wu is an American attorney and a professor of law at the Columbia Law School. In this book, Tim wants each and every one of us who has as much as seen an advertisement to know the origin of this industry, which is relatively new, about 200 years, as well as know exactly what we are getting when this industry comes to us as comes for our attention. In this book, a very good scenario was provided, and I'll share that with you right now. Assuming you're doing of a school in a bad neighborhood, and because this neighborhood is at the low end of town, it's poorly equipped, and of course the students are not being taught well. So a corporation comes to you and say, look guys, don't worry, we'll provide state of the art equipment, we'll provide state of the art educational materials, anything you want, just tell us, we'll provide everything. In exchange, we want you to provide advertisements in your schools. Don't worry, the advertisements will be children friendly, and you need not worry about obscene images and text. And you as a teacher, you as a parent, you as a school administrator, are you going to accept that offer? Think about it. Whether you accept the offer or not, you need to realize that you and I may not be alive today if not for this industry. Maybe that's an exaggeration. Maybe you and I will be alive, but to a different world altogether. And that is because of the impact of this industry in World War I in 1914 and World War II in 1939. The British, for the very first time in history, were able to get volunteers in hundreds of thousands of men to go to war willingly. Prior to this time, people, if governments want your attention, they get it. But in 1914, Britain was able to ask people to go to war that a lot of them knew they were likely going to die. It was through this power of propaganda that they were able to do this. And a certain young man was very impressed with what the British had done. And in about 3 decades' time, he was going to even take it to the next level. This man's name is called Adolf Hitler. But before that period, a man called Benjamin Day, remember that name because that guy is my favorite character in the book, decided that newspapers should not only be for the elites, because at that period it was only for the elites, the business class, the political elites. And then he decided to do the first mass production of newspapers the world has ever seen. So, of course, when he decided to print a mass like that, he was not going to be able to bankroll it. So he had the first commercial advertisement like we know it today, using that. And so maybe you and I will not have access to newspapers if this guy had not come. So we can say he was the one that really created the industry. And of course, when an industry is created like that, people get into it. And one of the people that really made the industry is called Cloud Hopkins. In fact, Cloud Hopkins, by his contemporary, is called the first full-blown advertising genius. If you as a person has ever been offered a free sample, this was something that Cloud Hopkins came about. If you are someone that has been told that, look, if you are not satisfied with this product, just return it, the refund policy, it was Cloud Hopkins that invented this. But of course, as the industry grew, a lot of charlatans came in, and especially in the patent medicine industry, they sold a lot of fake advertisements. In fact, a lot of them were even harmful, such that the government had to come and wade in and say, look guys, we really don't want this. And so they made laws and were able to actually bring things into order. And for this, the industry will almost collapse from about $3 million at its height in 1907. the industry almost went out of extinction by the 1930s because people could no longer trust them. People would buy products offering great benefits, and then eventually they become sick. But this industry was saved through two inventions. First of all, the radio, and then the television. The radio was actually good in the fact that for the very first time they could reach a lot of people at the same time using this device, and a lot of people really bought into it. I mean, some of the narrations about the effect of radio in the book were just mind blowing, and so there's even something that was actually cool, that was actually interested in the book. So when commercial radio news came on, the newspapers were very unhappy. In fact, they attacked them so much that the radio merchants had to call them and reach a compromise to say, look guys, people will be able to read the newspapers in the morning, they'll be able to read them in the evening. Between that period, we will not broadcast. We will only broadcast in between that period. And so they were able to reach a settlement, and they were able to now coexist. Another one that helped is the invention of the television. The television has to be about the most important invention for the attention merchants, because for the first time they could now come out and be very, very creative in their adverts. If you've seen shows like the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, if you've seen reality shows like Big Brother Naija, it was during this period that they realized that reality shows, game shows, and all kinds of attention seeking programs could actually get people, and so they got people in mass. And it was shocking to me, really, to realize that a lot of the game shows and a lot of reality shows are actually state managed. So all the dramas that are done in the shows were actually done to get people to give their attention to it. So the choice of people they bring was done in order to bring people to watch, and it became a scandal that almost wrecked the industry too. Of course, the new kid came on the block. That's the computer, and with it, the smartphones, which really also saved the industry. Again, the industry is an industry that they come on board, people like them, and then they realize that look what is happening here, and then another one comes in. So the computer became one that people pour their hearts into, like Nasir right now. I'm sure you are watching on YouTube, and so it's an example of another thing that has saved the internet. So when things like the heart sign, which you see in the email, I got to realize that it was not really an intentional invention. The book explains it. The book talks about the reason why people who have attention deficit disorder are even able to pay attention to game shows, to video games. Why are they able to do that? Why is it that magazines like The People and the ones that talk about celebrities actually sell very well? Why is that? Why is it that there are several things in the book. In the 21st century, we're now able to get a lot of new entrepreneurs who really hate the advertisement industry. Someone like Larry Page of Google, for a long time, never wanted advertisement because he had seen what people like companies like GoTo.com and AOL did. Because prior to that period, search engines, they were always littered with advertisement, and it was an unenjoyable experience for the user. And so he came and said, look, we are not going to do advertisement. And through that, he was able to create something called the AdWords, in which it can be targeted. Someone like Facebook rejected a company like Facebook rejected advertisement. An example was when Sprite came on board to say, look guys, we want to change the home page of Facebook to green for 1 million naira, but Facebook rejected it because they really didn't want it. Wikipedia also never liked advertisement, and it had to go into the way of donations to be able to keep itself afloat. But eventually, the way it happens with this industry is that everybody gets sucked into it, and so companies like Google, companies like Facebook did not just take advertisements; they became the advertisement became very invasive to the individual, and some of the results are being seen today, in which governments all over the world are suing Google, they are suing Facebook, they are suing a lot of these people for the lack of privacy to to their individual users. So these are some of the. There are a lot of information about all of this in the book. With the way things are now, anyone can be an attention merchant, especially when you realize how much attention is being cutted on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, especially Instagram. You see stories in the book in which people claim to be very, very unhappy through social media. I mean, Netflix is also one in which we commit a lot of our hours into the medium, just unthinkingly, really. And so a lot of the strategies being used today, you get to realize that they are nothing new. A lot of them are repackaged from the 1930s and especially the 1950s and 1960s, in which advertisement was as a role. And so anybody that really thinks that this industry is going to die would need to do better. One thing I wish Tim did in the book that I didn't do was to zoom the light on how sports is an instrument of the attention merchants. I was really surprised. I mean, no one who has watched the English Premier League or basketball would deny how much these sports take our attention. I was really surprised I didn't really say much about this. But overall, the idea of this book is not to see advertising as good or evil, but really to see it as one in which is most likely here to stay, and for us to make our peace with it, and to also look at the way it is, to realize what is happening to us, and to be able to decide ourselves whether it is something that we like or not. Because ultimately, we need to be conscious, we need to be aware of things that are happening around us. Essentially, this is the way it is, and I hope that I've been able to at least give you an insight into this book, so that you can make your decision. Actually, I would like you to actually read this book. So that's my review today. Thank you for listening, and I hope that you'll be here once again when the Naija Book Club makes another one. All right, bye.